Poetry Fence by Renée Adams. The leaning wooden fence holds poetry chosen inside the nearby house from many volumes typed up, tacked up, a way station to entice the passers-by to stop and read. Their dogs appreciate the time to sniff the other dogs who've wended by, to question who has been that way before, their form of meditation while their humans stop. It's not a Facebook wall, no digital waves with instant feedback to the poster, no sound bites to speak the superficial as mundane. This analog Chautauqua doesn't snark and bark them to agreement with pronouncements like a cable station. It does what all good poetry does, asks them in their solitude to pause, to read, to think, to question, and to feel. Spring by Linda Paston. Just as we lose hope, she ambles in, a late guest dragging her hem of wildflowers, her torn veil of mist, of light rain, blowing her dandelion breath in our ears. And we forgive her. Turning from chilly winter ways, we throw off our faithful sweaters and open our arms. In Spring by Rosie King. I'm out with the wheelbarrow mixing mulch. A mockingbird trills in the pine. Then from higher a buzz, and through patches of blue as the fog burns off, a small plane pulls a banner. Red letters I can't read, but I do see over the fence a man in a sky blue shirt walking his dog to the beach. He says he missed it. We'll keep an eye out. 4 barrows of mulch around the blueberry bushes. I'm pulling off gloves and he's back, beaming. It says, "I love you, Martha." Are you Martha? Today by Billy Collins. If ever there were a spring day so perfect, so uplifted by a warm, intermittent breeze that it made you want to throw open all the windows in the house and unlatch the door to the canary's cage, indeed, rip the little door from its jamb. A day when the cool brick paths and the garden bursting with peonies seemed so etched in sunlight that you felt like taking a hammer to the glass paperweight on the living room end table, releasing the inhabitants from their snow-covered cottage so they could walk out holding hands and squinting into this larger dome of blue and white. Well, today is just that kind of day. The Sun by Mary Oliver. Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful than the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats toward the horizon and into the clouds or the hills or the rumpled sea and is gone? And how it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world, like a red flower streaming upward on its heavenly oils, say, on a morning in early summer, at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere in any language a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out, as it warms you, as you stand there empty-handed? Or have you too turned from this world? Or have you too gone crazy for power, for things? Listening by William Stafford. My father could hear a little animal step or a moth in the dark against the screen, and every far sound pulled the listening out into places the rest of us had never been. More spoke to him from the soft, wild night than came to our porch for the family on the wind. We watched him listen, and his face go keen, till the walls of the world flared, widened. My father brought in so much that we still stand, inviting the quiet by turning the face, waiting for the time when the soft, wild night will reach to us here from that other place. Summer Music by May Sarton. Summer is all a green air, from the brilliant lawn, sopranos through murmuring hedges accompanied by some poplars. In fields of wheat, surprises. Through faraway pastures, flows to the horizon's blues in slow decrescendos. Summer is all a green sound, rippling in the foreground to that soft applause, the foam of Queen Anne's lace. Green, green in the ear is all we care to hear, until a field suddenly flashes the singing with so sharp a yellow that it crashes loud cymbals in the ear. Minor has turned to major, as summer, lulling and so mild, goes golden buttercup wild. Assurance by William Stafford. You will never be alone, you hear so deep a sound when autumn comes. Yellow pulls across the hills and thrums, or the silence after lightning before it says its names, and then the clouds' wide-mouthed apologies. You were aimed from birth, you will never be alone. Rain will come, a gutter-filled an Amazon, long aisles. You never heard so deep a sound, moss on rock and years. You turn your head, that's what the silence meant. You're not alone. The whole wide world pours down. Milkweed by Bradford Tice. I tell myself softly, this is how love begins, the air alive with something inconceivable, seeds of every imaginable possibility floating across the wet grasses under the thin arms of ferns. It drifts like snow or old ash settling on the dust of the roadways as you and I descend into thickets, flanked by the fragrance of honeysuckle and white primrose. I recall how my grandmother imagined these wanderers were living beings, some tiny phylum yet to be classified as life. She would say they reminded her of maidens decked in white dresses waltzing through air. Even after I showed her the pods from which they sprang, blossoming like tiny spiders, she refused to believe. Now, standing beside you in the crowded autumn haze, I watch them flock, emerge from brittle stalks, bursting upon the world as young lovers do, trysting in the tall grasses, resting fingers lightly in tousled hair. Listen, and you can hear them whisper in the rushes, gazing out at us, wondering, what lives are these? The Snowman by Wallace Stevens. One must have a mind of winter to regard the frost and the boughs of the pine trees crusted with snow, and have been cold a long time, to behold the junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough in the distant glitter of the January sun, and not to think of any misery in the sound of the wind, in the sound of a few leaves, which is the sound of the land full of the same wind that is blowing in the same bare place for the listener who listens in the snow, and, nothing himself, beholds nothing that is not there and the nothing that is. Glitterati by Renée Adams. As sun breaks forth, little light snowflakes fall all around us, like sparkling party glitter tossed from clouds above to celebrate a fabulous dressing of the day.